This sode would not be possible without the support of our listeners, patrons, and sponsors. If you'd like to find out more about supporting the 3-Bit Gamer Show, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/3BG. And a major shout out goes out to our boss level patrons, Christopher, Patrick, and Skylar. Listener.
Listener questions, leaning on you to plan another lazy show. Yeah, listener questions, answers are the only way. Yeah,
Listeners, this game's not new, 'cause now you have the answer to
listener questions. How to change this line to keep our sponsors. Listener questions. What you gonna do when we answer you now? It's the soul that we all share. It's the hope for tomorrow. Questions!
You just logged into the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson. And it's another listener
Questions!
episode. Yes. Dude, that was great.
Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news. All right, our news this week, as with all weeks, is brought to us by Crave Cookies.
Crave!
Crave Cookies is this awesome cookie shop here in Midvale, Utah, and also in West Valley City, Utah.
Spreading out.
The amount of land that Crave is conquering is growing. We should start just creating like an area map.
Of lands that Crave has conquered.
Yeah, Crave
has
lands.
Claimed.
The Crave lands.
Is this not a video game?
That's the tie-in lore mini novel that Brandon Sanderson writes for Crave Cookies when he eats his first one, because every single experience that Brandon Sanderson has in his life, be it video games, movies,
He has
food,
to write a story.
he's got to write a trading card games. He's going to write a story about it.
Yeah.
So if you don't think that Brandon Sanderson has written an 8-part saga about the Crave lands, you're crazy. Twitter has released their most talked about games in 2022 so far. Guys, we're recording like 2 days after the last episode, so the news is a little thin. Give us a break.
Just give us a break. You guys are so demanding.
You're lucky you're getting any news.
Okay, you know what? Back
all.
off, you guys.
Yeah, take a chill pill. Yeah, so that's what we're digging into. Bottom of the barrel. This is what Twitter thinks people are talking about in gaming for Q1 of this year.
Well, this is funny though, because I thought Elden Ring would be near the top.
No, because
Wordle
number
would
one
be the top, but
is Genshin Impact.
why?
Number 2, unsurprisingly, is Wordle.
Yeah.
Number 3 is some game called Ensemble Stars. Then Apex Legends. Final Fantasy is 5th. PJ Sakai is 6th. I don't know what that is. And then Elden Ring is 7th. But Peterson, one thing they did point out is that Elden Ring has only been out for a little
That's
bit.
true.
And so the fact that they are on this list at all, because didn't Elden Ring come out like just a couple weeks ago? And they're number 7 for the entire first 3 months of 2022.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's pretty good. And then let's see, 8 is FGO Project, then Game Knives Out. What is that? That is
Dude,
not
who
Knives
knows
Out.
what
That
half
has
this stuff
nothing
is.
to do with
No.
Knives Out.
No, look at the picture. The guy's got a big old gun on his back.
Yeah,
I do
that's
not
just like
remember.
the detective.
Yeah.
In Knives Out, he had a T-shirt and a helmet. A
Part
mech
2
helmet.
of Knives Out, things get really out of control.
Knives
And he
Out
has
2,
a gigantic gun now.
Halo. And number 10 is Minecraft.
Where did that come
Minecraft
from?
just lives in perpetuity
Every
in
top
just
10.
the general gaming top 10.
Yeah, like
sales, you always look at sales, Minecraft.
It's always
you looked
there.
at highest streaming, it's fucking Minecraft. It's always top 10. No matter what the top 10 is, Minecraft is like, hello?
Hey,
and this is
we're
perfect. It's the
here.
little creeper in the picture, so that it's just like spot on. A WWE announcer casually quoted The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time during Monday Night Raw. Before we go on, Peterson, just spin this clip.
I'll play it. Yeah, here we go.
WWE ring. The flow of time is always cruel. And a thing that doesn't change with time is just a memory of younger days.
If that
Dude,
quote sounds a little out of place right at the kickoff of the title fight from Monday Night Raw, it's because it is. It's because it's a very, very obscure quote from the Ocarina of Time.
When did Ocarina of Time come
1996 or 7
out?
on the Nintendo 64. And this guy has the neurons in his brain of the billions of trillions of connections that are made and saved and stored. This one was locked. Locked in for 3 decades.
What's the context behind this? Like, how did this get into his brain to begin with?
Dude, okay, so I guess, no, it makes sense contextually. It's just insane that this guy is enough of a Zelda fan. This is like beyond normal fandom of anything. This the fight was Cody versus Rollins, and one of these wrestlers had just come back from like a 6-year hiatus. And so it was a time-related quote. So he looks at Ocarina of Time, which has a lot of these discussions. If you guys don't know, in the story, it takes place between a child version of Link, the main character, and an adult version of Link. You travel back and forth between time, I think, playing a magical ocarina, and it helps you travel back and forth in time. And so there's a lot of discussion of time and the passage of time and what happens. And so he's dropping this quote at WWE Monday Night Raw. What?
Dude.
And then the fact that someone just picked it up and someone is like, hey, wait.
I know what that's from.
Wait,
that was what I was going to bring up.
Dude, this is like some discussion that Link is having with one of these characters in the forest. And I don't think it's like anything. It's not like during a super seminal part of the game. I think he's just talking to somebody. Weird quote. I love that. I have nothing more to say about that. World of Tanks developer Wargaming is leaving Belarus and Russia.
This is like their home turf.
This is all their turf. This is all of their turf. If you look at their revenue numbers, if you look at where people are playing on Steam and stuff, everyone that plays this game, and the vast majority, are in Russia and Belarus. And they were headquartered in Minsk, which is in Belarus.
Didn't you go somewhere in that region for reporting with them?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want you to mock me. But yes,
where did you
I did go to Minsk.
You did?
To visit their headquarters, and then we went to this weird war museum. That was just a bunch of decommissioned MiGs and Russian tanks and like World War II era tanks and stuff. And it was very weird. They took us on a tour.
Sounds very Eastern European.
Dude, this is the most Eastern European. They take us on this tour of Minsk, and one of the stops was to see the apartment that Lee Harvey Oswald apparently lived in and wrote in.
That's
when he
part
was
of
being
the tour.
radicalized before he went and shot JFK or whatever the fuck. And they were like really proud of it. They're like, look, that's where the guy. That's where the guy.
Guys, you don't even know. You will be. We don't want to spoil it for you, but when
this guy
we
was
get
an
there,
ace shot. Like
you
seriously,
will feel different when you walk into that room. I promise you. And then I'll tell you,
this is a tour stop. I was like, why are we stopping to see this random Soviet bloc era apartment? That's why,
dude. That's why. Did anyone live there, or was it purely like?
I would hate to be the person that lives there, and there's always like confused tourists gawking at them. I imagine it's like mostly like Chinese tourists.
One or two of them snap a picture because they feel like they have to. Like, I guess we're here. Yeah. I don't know. This is weird. Let's just take a picture and go.
Yeah, I guess. So, Belarus is a lovely country. But this is them pulling out over the war in the war in Ukraine. It's so crazy. This is effective March 31st, so it's already effective. Like, it was like immediately. The company will not profit from this process, and they say in the statement, much to the contrary, we expect to suffer substantial losses as a direct result of this decision.
Wow.
So they're closing their studio in Minsk, and they're trying to provide as much severance and support for these employees that are going to be affected by this, obviously. But they're still confident in the future of their business and committed to delivering quality games, that they're going to keep trying to do what they can. It's really, I don't know. It's really interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Yep, they pulled out.
Yeah, and good for them. I wish them the best of luck. They develop a couple of games: World of Tanks, World of Warships, World of Warplanes, maybe.
Here's the thing: these I've played 2 of those, Tanks and Warships. They're both fun for like 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, and then they become very pay to win. So
which, from
like
what I understand,
if they weren't, this game could be so much fun. Like, World of Tanks is a good game, but it's so pay to win that it's like, okay, this isn't fun anymore.
They're now going to be headquartered in Cyprus, which is kind of cool. Good.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, I think you're right that model isn't. I don't know. I'm
if it's surprised that they're still around, and actually, I think they're only still around because the game itself is fun. Like,
there are some
fun.
major whales in this game.
Oh, I'm sure.
And from what I understand, even in the U.S., outside of like Russia and Belarus, there are a lot of whales that I think that they can keep going.
Well, they do. I guess what they do well is they can suck you into that early, buy those first few tanks. Because I used to play with Spencer, and he did buy several tanks in the game, which again was no longer fun for me, because then we were being matched up with people who had those good tanks too, who would legitimately. I was using my best tank, and they would just one shot
you.
Yeah. So
yeah.
But they were good at getting people to buy that first tier of tanks, So
yeah. So I'll keep an eye on this. I have been, because of that trip, these guys have always been in my peripheral. And I'm always kind of interested to see what they're doing. And I was very interested to see how they react. This is not what I think I or anyone who went to visit there or because this company was basically founded on a huge loan from the Belarusian government that was like a tech loan. And it was one of the very few like software companies that they were like able to brag about, to be like, look, this is what Belarus is doing. We make this like crazy popular video game. And so they did get a lot of money from the state of Belarus. So
can I just take a quick step back? Mm-hmm. I'm a little concerned about something you said. You said you went out to Belarus. You visited them personally. We don't know what happened on that visit, but now they are always on your mind. Are you, I'm just going to straight up say it, are you a sleeper agent? JD?
Just nobody say random combinations of words around me, and we won't have to wonder. It's totally fine. Everyone's speaking completely normal English. Don't say random words.
I feel piano, like we've gotten banana, a few of them
Thailand,
right
history. Don't
on
do
this
it.
podcast.
Nope. The Division continues to predict the future, now with a mode based on defending a nuclear power plant from invading forces. All right. The Division.
Look of all the games, right? This would be in my top 10 of games that I don't want to be predicting the future.
Oh God, yes. And I don't think we revisited this really. That we haven't talked really about the Division, because after the Division 2 kind of puttered out and died, like we haven't really talked about the Division since.
No.
But we haven't talked about the Division in post-pandemic America. That's how much it sputtered out and died. But damn, they kind of got it right with the Division, right?
Like I feel like they're getting close and closer. It's like if coronavirus was several.
25% deadlier.
Yeah, if it was just
We would have had the division.
we would be right there. You
That's
guys,
fucking it.
we
Right
would be
there.
right there. We would have hordes of the unvaccinated.
The
just
sanitation workers of New York would
cleansing
collectively go
the earth.
insane and start burning people alive. Like, guys, we are on the fucking cusp.
We're
here.
pretty close. We're pretty close. I think a couple Walmarts across the country actually got to division status for maybe a couple days, but then they backed
And
off.
that was before the pandemic.
Oh,
that was
sorry.
2019.
That was a Black Friday.
Yeah, that was just
was-
a normal Wednesday at Walmart.
Just a random Walmart in like Nashville.
And they're like,
or
the
something.
Homeland Security showed up. They fucking FEMA. They just quarantined, shut down the whole thing. So this is so funny. Well, I guess it's not like super funny. This is set in the U.S. It's an expansion for the division. It's called Countdown. It's been in development since early last year. And imagine the team that has like been working on this, and they're so close to announcing and shipping. By the way, they didn't say anything. They weren't able to announce this when they wanted to because of what's been going on. If you guys weren't aware or following the war in Ukraine closely, which you should be,
You should at least be paying attention a little bit.
just a modicum of attention.
Yeah.
This is kind of our war. This is like the war of our time. Kind of
Stuff's happening
currently. So the Russian forces attacked Chernobyl, and we're also just kind of like fucking around in the forest outside of Chernobyl, just kicking up all that dirt that I don't know, like 3 million liquidators sacrificed decades off their lives to go through these forests, like turning over like metric fuck tons of soil so this radioactive shit wasn't exposed, and the Russians just go marching through it. It's fine. And then I think they were like shooting at the fucking reactors. It's not great.
Yeah, that was.
great.
I think they were trying to bomb one at one point,
Yeah, like I don't know, for
like
shits
mortars
and giggles,
or something.
because it was really easy the last time one of those was opened. Let's just open it back up. And you know that big fucking crypt that they've got on top of the exposed reactor. Yeah, that was just like a cool $2-3 billion and like a huge multinational effort. But yeah, just shoot it with guns, you fucking
Shoot at it.
idiots.
Shoot
Just
at
shoot
it.
So yeah,
Shoot at the radiation. Get it, boys.
and you know, I sound annoyed at this. Imagine being the team that worked on this division expansion that's watching this go down, and they're like, motherfuckers. They thought, okay, so Russia's invading Ukraine. Like, that's one thing. There's no fucking way that they're going to mess with Chernobyl. We're in the clear. How many meetings do you think they had at Ubisoft about this where they're like, no, it's fine.
Yeah,
They're not going to touch the reactors. It's totally fine. It's not going to be like a problem. It's not going to be awkward. I mean, how are you marketing? How are they marketing the division over the last 2 years? Like, can someone answer that? I'm just so blown away where you like, oh, play the new thing where you shoot the infected or like all this stuff, or don't get it. Like all of the stuff around the division was a giant outbreak and avoiding infection and this huge, I don't know.
Yeah.
And these big quarantines.
The marketing team on the division was like, they just were like,
quit.
I
don't know how we have
not
missed
doing it.
out
Not
on this
doing
discussion for 2 years, though. I think that's hilarious. I think that's
true.
a testament to what they've been doing. They're like, okay, we're not going to do, we're not going to do pandemic stuff. We're not going to do virus stuff anymore. Let's focus on like, I don't know, the infrastructure that's collapsing. And someone raises their hand. They're like, oh, nuclear power plant might be good. And they're like,
dude,
great,
that would
Jameson,
be crazy.
thanks.
Those stakes are high.
That's really good, and it's not virus stuff, so that's a really good new direction for our next expansion.
Jameson was fired recently, by the way.
Jameson got fucking laid off. I'm so sorry, pal. Elden Ring's publisher wants to work with author Brandon Sanderson, and he has a Soulsborne pick.
No, I don't like that. I would play it.
You are getting monkey clawed, Peterson. This is
Monkey Paw, because I think it was Steven said like, oh, he was joking like on Discord. Oh, another about if they made an open world Brandon Sanderson game. He was like, oh, there's another open world game that Peterson wouldn't play. And I was like, if there was a Sanderson game, I would absolutely play it. and but I will be so mad if it is a Souls-like. And then within 2 days, this story came out, and I was like, it's absolutely a monkey paw, because if there is one game genre that is just zero appealing to me, it is Souls-like games. And I know someone listening just had like an aneurysm, and they're gonna be like, no, like, okay, no, you just have to, no, like, that's not. If I hit a rough patch in any game,
I'm out.
there's a good chance I will quit. The more I have to play a certain thing, the percentage chance that I am quitting that game forever just skyrockets.
So you're telling me you don't want to play a game that the entire game is a rough patch?
Yeah, like, I don't like it. And they'll be like, oh no, Elden Ring, you can do. No, guys, you're not understanding.
No, shut up.
None of it sounds fun to me. I wish. Look, beautiful game. I wish I liked it.
I wish I liked vegetables. I've tried to eat them. I really have. I've disguised them with butter, wrapped them in bacon. But I put a slice of asparagus in my mouth, dude, and I get bile in my mouth. It's not my fault.
This is a good Foodio games, because, yeah, that's mushrooms for me. I really want to like mushrooms. I have tried 100 times.
All the different ones.
And there's every now and then there's one that I'm like, ooh, I can do this. This one's okay. I even bought dried mushrooms the other day to make a mushroom powder for recipes that call for mushrooms, where I want the umami, but I don't want to taste a mushroom in my mouth. And
you know the ones you get with the hot pot that's like a billion tiny little ones?
Yeah.
You like those?
Sometimes I can eat like a little bit of a mushroom at a time. But the problem is they're never prepared that way. Whenever there's a mushroom in a dish, it's like, oh, you want a bite that's all mushroom? Here you go. You're going to hate it. And that's Souls-like games for me.
Dude, I feel like they kind of, I understand the attraction of these authors to Souls-like, because if I understand correctly, aren't you going from like giant epic boss to giant epic boss?
Yeah, and there's some little guys in between.
And so you get to write all the backstory of why there's so many epic bosses and their cool weapons and what their weapons are called, how long their fingernails are and stuff.
Yeah.
What?
That the fingernail thing is a real catch for these guys.
Well, for George R. R. Martin, it's like how elaborate the feast was that they had the night before. It's like 16 pages of like meat dripping off their chins and shit. God.
Okay, but I have read fantasy books and gotten hungry though, so
I know
it's terrible.
Right? And I'm like, where do I get black bread at this hour? How am I?
What is
how am
black
I going to get a hunk of cheese and black bread? That's what the fuck do I do?
Why do I want a piece of pork that is dripping grease so bad right now?
Salted pork? I don't know what that is, but I need some. I don't know. How do you prepare that?
Pork jerky? I don't know. It sounds better than that though.
Choo-choo-choo-choo-boog.
Fortnite has raised $144 million for humanitarian relief, going to the people affected by the war in Ukraine. This is also, I don't think it's all Fortnite. I think because Xbox got involved in this and they were matching to an extent. So this was double what we reported a couple weeks ago. $144 million. Guys. This is like
no small
borderline
amount.
Spaceship money, just for humanitarian aid for this. This is
Guys,
just from one video game.
That was all the money that they made. That's the crazy thing too. That's the money they made for the last few weeks. That like would have gone into Epic's coffers, and they were just like, "Meh, no, we don't need it." And like,
better to go to like humanitarian causes. World Central Kitchen. UN Refugee Agency, World Food Program, UNICEF, and Direct Relief were all recipients. I mean, that's an ungodly amount of money.
Well,
that is some like really moving. That's some moving supplies cash right there. Greasing some wheels cash. So that's really positive stuff. So good for Fortnite.
And that's just from like a video game. Like they didn't have to do anything, right?
There was zero expectation for anybody to do anything like that. No.
Yeah. And they just did it. And yeah, so I don't know. I just thought that was super cool. I still get messages when I log into Fortnite about the Ukraine, and so I don't know. I think it's cool. I like that. I like to see games that I'm playing and game companies uh doing trying to make the world a better place.
Yeah.
All right, and JD, I'm gonna tee this one off. We have an announcement for you. This is late breaking. So, and this has to do with your favorite upcoming game, Hogwarts Legacy. So, if you want to listen to that clip, it's called JD Announcement. This came
Okay.
from Jacob Stewart. So, listen to it live, and we will react.
JD, this is Albus Grumbledore, here to tell you you've been accepted to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. We've been so impressed at how excited you are for the upcoming game that we've decided you're the only one that will get to play it. But in order to do so, you must convince Peterson to watch the trailer 500 more times. Everyone knows the more excited you are about a game and the more hype you build up for it, the better it will be. So keep on dreaming those dreams. See you soon, I guess. Albus Grumbledore.
Thank you so much, Albus. Albus Grumbledore.
Well, I like his name changed at the end too. He said Albus Grumblegore. Albus Grumblegore.
He is preaching to the choir, dude. This is my soul. This is what I truly believe. That the more I believe that this game is going to be good, the better it will actually be. So Peterson, how many times have you watched the trailer?
You guys don't know this, but JD has actually made me watch it a couple hundred times already. He just keeps sending me links, and he said, "I'm getting
Rickrolling."
Yeah.
It's like that with the Harry Potter trailer. So I only need to Rickroll Peterson like 183 more times, I think.
Yeah. And I keep clicking on those
and then
links.
They send me a copy of this game to play by myself.
Yeah,
I'm not going to share it with any of you because I don't care about any of you. This is my game. This is for me.
They made this for me.
They made this for me.
They did not. Albus Grumblegore did not say anything about you guys. This is just for me.
This is my fucking game.
I feel like that's how you feel. This is like JD's like this is they're making this game for me specifically. I have to write them a thank you note when they're done. A nice
I'm sure there will be
basket.
A to Jonathan at the beginning of the game. I'll receive it as like my letter to Hogwarts.
Oh my gosh.
Kudos.
All right, Kudos is our positivity segment. We like to give a shout out to something that we were into. Peterson, do you have any kudos this week?
I do have one, or well, it's like kind of like two, but two in one.
A Tudos.
A tood in one dose.
One dose.
That doesn't. No, I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so lately with my kids, I have done 2 different escape rooms now. Have you done an escape room?
I have never done one. I love that you've done 2 though.
We decided to do one the other night just because I was like, let's do something. So I took my 2 oldest to a place it's in Ogden called Clue Inn Escape. And so we go to this place, and honestly, not the nicest facility. We'd been to one a few years ago in North Carolina with some of our friends, and that one was like super nice. This one was Clue Inn Escape was not that. It was pretty beat up, and like everything was a little run down feeling.
Like a couple of people tried to break out physically.
Yeah. And like there were like things that you could tell had been like mangled a little bit. But I will say the thing that we did, the escape room we did, and the puzzles were top notch. Top notch. We had so much fun. We escaped from the gives like the something mortician. We had to break into his office, steal a necklace that he had stolen off our dead grandmother or something like that. And
dude, I love that level of storytelling.
And it was they all have like a story. And so that was fun. That one was a good time. So then we were like, let's do another one. So I signed up for one in Layton called the Great Room Escape.
Okay.
And I brought my 3 boys this time. My 8-year-old came, and I told him, I was like, don't expect to do anything because the puzzles are kind of beyond him, but he wanted to come along. So
Yeah.
We did an escape room called the Countdown, where dude, and this it did not feel good to be playing this because it was like, and they've had this for a few years, and it was like, the Cold War has been going on for several years, and it just recently turned hot, and
No.
a Russian missile has
Too
been launched
real.
to, and I was like, oh geez, golly, this is
Well, at
I-
least you're preparing your kids.
I kind of felt like
Get
I
'em
was
ready.
playing war games from the math.
Yes.
Like, I was like, is this real? Tell me if it's real or not.
The only
And,
winning move is to not play.
Yeah. So this one was cool because we had 1 hour to stop to turn the missile defense system back online because it had been hacked into. And so we're doing all these things. This one, the room was much nicer, much fancier. The puzzles were more high tech.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were doing stuff on a computer, and like we were plugging in cords to certain things and like in a certain order and these types of things. So it was way more high tech than the other one.
Yeah.
But there wasn't nearly as many puzzles, and I would say they weren't as clever as the kind of rundown place. But it was much, much fancier, like way nicer. The room was very decorated and like ambiance.
Form over function.
Yeah. And I mean, it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't as good. We got out of that one too. So if you guys have never done an escape room,
Now I want to do one.
Get a
Dang.
group of 4 people.
Yeah.
And because I think the less people, the better, because you want to be involved with them. So I would go with 4 people, to be honest. Take 4 of you, no more than 6, and go to an escape room. They're really fun. It's a good time for an hour. Just go in with the expectation that you'll fail or that you'll need help, because we did have to ask for help a couple times, and they're like more than happy to help you along. But yeah, guys, do an escape room. Seriously, it's a great activity to just go out and do. It's something a little bit different. So yeah, I would do an
There's a
escape
Cold
room.
War one. There's a pandemic one. You're trying to escape the CDC after like a
Yeah,
smallpox.
there is
infection.
a Chernobyl one.
Yeah, there's a global
No.
warming one where you're like at the shoreline of a rapidly rising ocean level.
The second place we went to does have a couple that are scary, and they said there's even a couple jump scares, and so I do want to do that.
Escape from Dracula's castle.
Well, like one's a haunted room, and the other one's like a shed or something. So I want to do those.
Leatherface's shed. Okay,
dude, yeah, like creepy ambiance, trying to like, yeah. So, anyways, yeah, it'd be fun. Do one. I'm excited to do another.
Cool. My Kudos is unique. I watched this movie on Netflix. This is a Judd Apatow's latest movie. It's called The Bubble, and it's about a movie that is being produced in during the pandemic, during like 2020, and it's all like all the actors are living in a hotel and they're doing the whole movie production like, in a quarantine kind of setup, and it's got a lot of like, well, not a lot. It's got some pretty great actors. It's got Keegan-Michael Key from Key and Peele in it. And I really wanted to love this movie. It starts out pretty strong. Like they're making these. I realized, Jenna and I both realized that like this is a genre that I hope there are more films that document this pandemic the way that this one did, or at least how it did in the beginning. Like they meet and they do the elbow bumps when they are like checking into the hotel for the quarantine, and it just shows people going crazy being in quarantine for 2 weeks in a hotel room, that type of shit. And so I hope that we document that in more films. So I appreciated that, and I appreciated a lot of the jokes. Apparently it's actually that Judd Apatow was like making fun of what really happened on the production of the latest Jurassic Park movie that's coming out, because this is exactly how it was made. So much so that this is the movie that they're making is called Cliff Beasts 6, and the monsters, the CGI monsters, are like T-Rexes with wings instead of arms, and they're called Cliff Beasts, and they are the stupidest looking motherfucking monsters. So that part's really funny, and sometimes they'll show like in the middle of the shots that they're showing, like the post production of how it will look. So it's kind of funny seeing the movie in the movie. But honestly, dude, this movie was an hour too long.
Wow.
And it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. This movie would be an absolute stunner at 70 minutes. It would be just like gut busting nonstop laughs. But at 2 hours plus, Judd Apatow just like taking big long strides and leaving like way too much time on certain things, storylines that could be fully cut out. And I'm not usually like a guy that's like, you should cut this out, you should cut that out. But I'm like, dude, there are things that's just full wholesale like 20 minutes worth of storyline that can just be should have been left on the editing bay floor. So that was a real disappointment. So I guess if you're like me and you like Judd Apatow, I've liked everything he made. You know, he made Heavyweights, you know, that old Disney movie?
Dude, such a good
That was
movie.
like his first fucking movie. So I've been watching Judd Apatow unknowingly, all of his movies since I was a kid.
He loves casting his wife.
It's
Leslie
she's
Mann.
in this. Leslie Mann is in this.
And their daughter is in it as well.
Daughter is in this as well.
He just loves
and it
casting.
feels like that, dude. It kind of feels like a family kind of like wrote this together during the pandemic, and then they like we had fun with it, and nobody fucking edited it outside the family. And who's going to tell Judd Apatow no? Certainly not Netflix, who produced it. They don't know what they're fucking doing. They're not going to tell a storied actor or director like Judd Apatow anything, especially when he's in the middle of making a movie that is actively mocking the relationship between a movie studio and the director. Netflix is like, yeah, you do whatever you want. No one's going to touch this. And it's very apparent. And it's like, damn it. Because there are parts in this that are laugh out loud funny. There are parts that I just like couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard. But I still don't recommend watching it unless you really know Judd Apatow and his movies and you like them.
So watch
everything
half of it.
Yeah, watch. Just kind of watch it and know it's going to waste a lot of your time. That's what I would say. That's such a weird recommendation. But it is kind of good for what it is. I don't know. It's weird. It's called The Bubble. It's on Netflix. Check it out or don't. I don't care. All right, so listener questions. I don't know, Peterson, do you want to just like play the intro song just like right here again so everyone can enjoy
let's just do it again. You deserve it twice.
Spin it up.
Listener questions, leaning on you to plan another lazy show. Yeah, listener questions, answers are the only way. Yeah,
Listeners, this game's not new, 'cause now you have the answer to
listener questions. How to change this line to keep our sponsors. Listener questions. What you gonna do when we answer you now? It's the soul that we all share. It's the hope for tomorrow. Questions!
All right, our first listener question comes from Joe Mero, who asks, who was your first video game crush?
All right, getting a little
Who
personal
was the
here.
first video game character you found super hot? And then
Yes,
as a
this is a
follow-up,
three-part question.
yeah, this is intense. This is like an SAT question.
It is.
The follow-up here, 1A, is who is your current video game crush? 1B, who is your video game crush you are ashamed to admit about? Dude,
Getting
seriously, that's a
very
lot.
personal.
You're very personal.
But look, we told you if you ask a question, we'll answer it. So fine.
So
We'll
I
answer it.
just climb right into my brain, and here you go.
So first video game crush, JD, what would you say?
God, I kind of like went back and forth on this one. And I think it's got to be Samus Aran from Metroid Fusion.
But before you found out, before she took off the helmet, right?
Just the robot, yeah.
You're like, yeah, this robot's
like,
so hot.
I was like, this robot has hips for days.
I will
and
say,
look how she just goes into a little ball.
dude, I love the little ball move.
Nothing is sexier than a woman that can tuck herself into a tiny little ball and roll through
And fly through the air.
through the air.
I will say on Super Smash Bros, she is openly the hottest character on there.
Yeah,
Like
she can get it, and she's got like a whip. I'm like, come on. How am I supposed to play this game? My hands are getting all sweaty on the controller.
I'm like, oh my gosh, my kids are just killing me because I can't stop staring. No, it's not that
She's
bad.
just like whipping me more and more. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just hold this shield.
I would always give my kids a hard time though, because I'd be like, I get Samus. I would pick all in the tournament style. We'd play like 4 or 5 characters, and I'd pick all Samus's because she was hot. And they're like, Dad, stop. And I'm like, dude, she's hot.
Got cooties.
I like trolling the kids.
Was there like a female character in Leisure Suit Larry that you had the hots for? Who was yours?
Probably, but I can't remember her name.
They didn't seem to care a lot about the women in those games.
No, I only really remember one scene, and I am not going to regale you with it. The first one I can think of character that I remember thinking was hot was, and I went back and forth too, but it's got to be Kerrigan from StarCraft. And
this is
probably,
telling me a lot about you.
No, this is pre Azure.
Oh yeah, when she's
Kerrigan.
Queen of Blades.
No, pre Queen of Blades.
You're like, hold me down with your spiky arm wings.
Yeah, dudes, I love spikes.
I love spikes.
Hotter
which is
than
all you seem to have to offer.
And
Spikes and then 2 gigantic boobs. That's like all Kerrigan is.
That's all you need. And then carapace dreadlocks, I think. I don't know.
Yes, dude.
But,
which honestly could be categorized as spikes. Those fit into the spikes.
They have little spikes on the end of them. So yeah, I'd say probably Kerrigan. But the only character that I would say that because I have a hard time with this because I don't really like legitimately crush on video game characters. Like, some people are like really into them. I don't connect with characters that way in any form, really. But I would say the character the character I came closest to caring about connecting with was in Mass Effect 2, Tali Zora, and I've talked about this before. She was the one that I was like, yeah, this is the character that I have to be with. Because there was like Miranda, who was like super hot, and you were like, oh, like if you picked her as your romantic option, there was like a really steamy sex scene. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because I liked Tali too much. She was
you
the
gotta go with your heart.
With my heart. And so Tali Zora was my pick. And so if I had to really say there was one that came closest to being like caring about dating in a game, it was Tali Zora.
Dude, I am so sorry, but I gotta go back to this. I have been going through pictures of Kerrigan, Queen of Blades, and I was dead on, dude. It's just spikes and 2 boobs. Like, the boobs are the only non-spiky part, the only unexposed, like the part of her entire being, including her spiky wings. She has spikes coming off of her thighs, her knees, her ankles, her wrists, her elbows, her hair, her fucking face, and her boobs though are smooth as a baby's ass.
Yeah.
Her skin is fucking phenomenal for being some like bug creature.
For being a bug lady.
Yeah, there is. Her still has like sexy skin, nice defined cheekbones, and smooth boobies, because you wouldn't want to visually harm your palms when you're visualizing, I guess, squeezing Kerrigan's boobs. What giga virgin fucking designed Kerrigan, dude? What is that?
Dude, that's exactly what it is. It was because they made her like really attractive before, and so they're like, well, after she has to be just like hot, like bad girl hot, you know.
You could have put just a couple. You could have done a spike bra, like the smooth boobs are so weird to me.
There is an official version of her. I swear, I promise you. This is just conjecture, but where there is a full on carapace nipple, but they had to take that out. They had to get the rating.
Damn it! Maybe that's why they were smooth, because they're like, they have spikes. They each have a spike on them. Fuck you.
They each have one small spike.
What is wrong with you? Just go do that by yourself.
Yeah.
Put it in a video game. Okay, so here is for the follow-up question is, who is your current video game crush?
I don't
all the characters that I roleplay as. It's the same chick every time.
Mhm.
But this is actually serves as an answer to both of these subset questions. Because this character I'm always crushing on, but I probably wouldn't want people to know how much I'm crushing on her.
That's why he gets so mad whenever she dies.
Mhm.
He's not mad that his character died and he has to like go back at some point. He's mad because someone killed his crush.
Look, I'm role playing as this character because I just want to see her story play out, but I don't think I'm her at all. If anything, in any of these stories where I'm playing through this crazy character that Peterson knows in his head, but I'll just describe briefly to you. She has white hair, just completely ghost white eyes, a facial scar or two.
Yeah.
Blood
Maybe
dripping down.
A tattoo if possible.
Yes, a cool tattoo somewhere, and probably half of her head is shaved.
Mhm.
And but no, I'm not her. In this story, I'm like a tavern worker, and she comes in and I just like ogle at her and just hope she notices me. And I'm like,
dude, and she's always like
scares the shit out
super
of me.
buff, super scary,
terrifying,
and
just
JD
covered in blood. Soaked head to toe, wrist deep in blood, and I'm just like, dang, can I prepare a room for you, madam? Maybe just like fluff a pillow, just anything. I don't want to be in your way. I just want to serve you. So, yeah.
Now we're learning a lot about JD. And then the last part of this question, who is your video game crush you are ashamed to admit?
Same.
Oh, I have a
same
different
answer.
one.
You actually, so you're not going to tell us who your current crush is, but you do have one you're ashamed of.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
and it's just
goody.
it's more of a thing that I look at and I'm like, ooh, that's hot. Okay. You haven't played a lot of Fortnite, JD,
No.
but all of the characters, male and female, have
Cardi B.
the best butts.
Oh,
Perfect.
they got good butt animation.
Perfect butts every time.
Dude, that's nice. And it's
Dude.
both genders. It's just everyone gets a nice
every
butt.
time, because when you get a skin, like you're looking at your skin or something, and you do the full like 360 turnaround. Every time I do like a double take on the butt, because I'm like, oh my gosh! And then when they're parachuting in, you get a nice like butt view while you're doing it. And like a lot of the guys have capes, a lot of the skins have capes and stuff, but I have a couple skins. Like I have a female soccer player skin. And I have a female I got around Christmas time. She's wearing like a onesie Christmas jammies. And every time I'm like, that's a nice butt. It's dude, I'm just saying.
Do I need to go buy some Christmas jammies? Some onesies for my wife?
Dude, so I guess my ashamed crush is just like almost any Fortnite skin.
Butts.
I'm not even a butt guy, and I'm always like, dang, that's
a
a
Fortnite
perfect
butt guy.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. They're just perfect every time. So.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I'm going to start sending you screenshots now.
Yeah, I'm actually mildly curious.
Okay. Dude, they're perfect.
Okay, do you want to do this one or do you want to do this
one? Yeah, I have one for Joe Mero's. Joe Mero had a 3-part one question, and now he has a second question.
Yeah, so let's do that one. What was a video game moment you were embarrassed to have someone walk in on or catch you playing or watching? Or if this moment wasn't, what's a moment you quickly shut down when you knew someone was coming? What is it? I got to know. What is yours?
Okay, so I played, this was when I was playing The Witcher 1. The Witcher games have full frontal nudity in them.
Tight.
But there's a section where you have to talk to a dryad a lot. And so like, okay, it's just to set up the scene. I am playing The Witcher. I'm being very careful because at this point in my life, the computer, we lived in a small house. The computer was just out in the living room.
And so, how old is your oldest at this point?
He was probably like 4.
Okay.
So like a 4 to 2-year-old.
A little young for Geralt's adventures.
Yeah, and my wife's sitting there, and I'm just playing, and I'm talking to this dryad. And the scenes when you're talking to characters, the scene kind of moves around a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to her, and it's just her face, whatever. And then it just like does a little zoom out, and you're getting like from the waist up, and she is naked. She doesn't have any top on, so you're just getting plant
Is
lady
it dry out a
boobs.
human?
She's like a human plant lady. So she's
fuck yeah.
green, and you're
Green
getting full
boobs.
boobs, and you're like, oh my gosh. But I think they even had like you would back off
Little
even a
flower
little bit,
nipples.
and there was a bush for the plant lady. Oh man, for the plant lady was so good. I get it now. And so yeah, so I'm doing this, and then I'm like, oh shoot, my wife's right there. So I'm like, I'm in this conversation. I'm supposed to do it, and I just shut the computer off.
Oh
And
my
it's
god!
like,
Just the classic turn off the monitor.
it's
and
like,
hope
oh,
that does
I
it.
don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Oh
Dang
my
it.
god! Did she see it then? Or
I don't
just
know.
You
I don't
turned
think
it off
so.
too
She
soon.
didn't say anything.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I
So-
never had an incident where it was close, but I will confess that I spent a embarrassing amount of time at the strip clubs in this game called the Saboteur.
Nice.
Video game strip clubs. It was a long, boring summer, I guess. I don't know. I was just like, well, this is what I'm gonna do: is throw like fake money. And this game. It was based on the French Resistance in like Paris during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
And there were strip clubs, and you could just go in them and just like sit there and spend your money. And
Were they like strip clubs in like lots of the games where they're just like mostly undressed, like
Yeah,
barely clothed?
I think it was topless.
Oh
and I
shoot!
just-
So the full
But
Kit
the
and
best part is, dude, this
caboodle.
came as a DLC. It was like part
Okay.
of this DLC that if you bought it at like GameStop or something, it came with it. So I just happened to get it, and it was like on the box, and I was like, oh, I'll download it. But I was like, that is such a weird thing that they advertised. So I felt, because I downloaded the DLC, I was like, oh, well, I gotta go check out strip clubs. That's all the whole point. Yeah, but no, and I think I don't think I would have even gone near one if anyone had been home. I was just like, this is among the more shameful things I've done.
Hey, yeah, we all got them, I guess.
Why do they put him in there? What am I supposed to do? Walk past him?
Walk past with my eyes closed. I'm not a Puritan in this game.
All right, our next one comes from Garrett Bracken, and he asks, they're making Stormlight into a series, and you're put in charge of it. What service is it going to be on, and who are the leads?
So this
I'll
is for
start.
me. Oh,
No,
go
I'll
ahead.
start. I'll start. So we're putting Stormlight on Paramount Plus. Because
I don't even like your answer. I know I don't.
so first off, let's do some casting choices. Kaladin. Kaladin's going to go to Daniel Radcliffe. He'll beef up a little bit.
Please
He's fine.
stop.
He'll grow his hair out. It'll look good. It's either him or Gal Gadot. Shallan.
Oh gosh,
Lindsay Lohan.
Shallan.
Shallan goes to Lindsay Lohan. The
She does have to
freckles,
be
the
redheaded.
auburn hair,
Yeah,
the sassy tude. Dalinar. That's-
Dalinar. Yeah, go ahead.
Dalinar is Bruce Campbell for sure.
Wait, who's Bruce Campbell?
Bruce Campbell. Oh, you're gonna like this.
Oh,
You're
I'm
gonna be like,
looking.
oh, that's not bad. Give him a little gray.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll tell you why you're wrong on all these, but keep going.
Oh, you think I'm being serious about these?
No.
Lift is whoever played Arya in Game of Thrones. Seth, Seth, yeah, that's the kid who played Ong in the Avatar live action movie. He's
Dude,
older now, so he can play that.
That kind of fits because he's bald.
Yep, shave his head, keep him the same character.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Taln is obviously Idris Elba. That seems to be like a no-brainer.
I have a couple casting requirements. Idris Elba is one of them.
Done. I knew that one was going to be a winner. That
what's
seemed
that-
like there was no one else for that role when I saw like the description of the character.
Yeah. So here's the thing. The other actor that I just want to slot into there somewhere is Jimon Honso. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
He's the African guy in the Gladiator. You know what I'm talking about now?
Oh my god, I love that fucking actor.
Me too. I like it. Every time I see him, I'm like, oh yeah, that guy's tight.
I should know his fucking name. He's
but-
in Constantine. I love him. I know it's a weird reference, the Constantine with Keanu Reeves. He's so good in that.
He's
Midnight.
always good. But here's the thing. I didn't cast these because here's why. They're on every Stormlight Archive, Facebook and Reddit and everything. They do these fan casting, and it kind of goes out of hand. The only requirement that I have is I want most of the quote unquote humans in the Stormlight Archive to be played by Asian actors, because the characters, the Alethi, which is like the I'd say the main character race, all have kind of an Asian look. And so I want Asian actors, and I want a lot of no names. Because if you've watched a lot of the Asian shows recently, like Korean, what was the people in what was that one that went crazy? The Triangle Squid Game.
Oh yeah,
There's like a lot of unknown in the U.S. actors, but they're like
Really
well known
good.
in Korea, and they're very good, right?
Yeah.
And so I want some good.
Wasn't that the case with Shang-Chi, that they had a couple of like actors from, I think, Asia and or from China and Korea that were really, really.
Dude, that's what I want. I want most of them to be Asian, and here's the thing: I don't know most of them. So like, whenever I see these fan casting things, the only thing I can say is nope, that's wrong. Like a lot of them feel wrong. There's a couple older Asian guys that I'm like, oh, would fit perfect into the role of like Dalinar. But this has to be on Amazon Prime, because they seem to give the right amount of leeway and
all the leeway.
And kind of the creative decision making. Plus, Sanderson has worked with them in the past with Wheel of Time, and I just want lots of Asian American actors in there that I probably don't know, but I do want Jimin Honso in there. I want Idris Elba somewhere because I want him in everything.
Okay.
For some reason, I just love those guys. So yeah, those are my only requirements.
Can we find a room in there for Randall Park, the guy that plays Asian Jim in The Office?
Oh,
and who is most recently in the MCU in the Scarlet Witch thing.
Oh, we could find a place for Randall.
Yeah, Randall Park.
Randall Park
amazing.
would be a good Bridge 4 member. So just like one of the, like, I'd say secondary or tertiary characters in the story, he would be great for one of those characters. The only thing is you have to make him look grizzly, and I'm not sure I've seen Randall Park be grizzly yet. So,
but he's very funny and attractive, and he looks exactly like Jim. Okay. Our next one. Is there anything else? I'm sorry, I don't want to move on. If you have more
that's it. That's it. I don't want to go
our next
too
one comes
deep
from
into
Skylar, and he asks, your family, dog, significant other, whomever is kidnapped, and you are given a specific video game to beat to free them from captivity. You're given two choices. One, choose from a game you're great at, but your performance must be impeccable and nothing short of perfection is requested by the captors. Or two, they give you a game of their choice and you give it your best shot. The rules for release are not clearly stated by the captors, but you feel semi-confident the rules are much more loose, but you're still not told what they are. Which do you choose? Do you choose option one? Which game is it?
Okay, so here it is. Your family's kidnapped, and they're like, here you go. You can play two games. One, you have to choose a game of your choice that you're very good at, and you got to be perfect. You got to nail it. Or two, we'll pick a game, and you have to do good. But we haven't given you any other criteria. You just have to give it your best go. So, and then you can get them back.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what
so
do
are
do?
you gambling on how good you are generally at video games? I feel like I'm pretty good, but I'm not that good.
I am very mediocre. Like, even at my best games, like Rocket League, I'm still, like, essentially pretty mediocre.
I'm thinking more single-player games. This kind of struck me as a single-player game question.
Yeah, and then so single-player games, it's kind of
pretty good at those. I beat them all on easy.
So, I mean, yeah.
Fuck.
So
I'm trying to think like but they'd probably give me a hard. No, I think ultimately my safe bet here, because I'm playing this. I got two approaches here. But first of all, obviously, I'm going to go with the game I know, and the game I've played and beaten the most in my life, which is
Okay.
Pokemon Blue.
Okay.
And I'm going to take my time. Perfection is very subjective, it seems, in Pokemon. Say I never have a Pokemon faint, say I catch all the Pokemon, whatever it is, I can make that happen. I'm good enough at that game. I can do whatever it needs to be. And if I need to grind away, take a couple extra hours and grind my Pokemon up to a certain level, that's great. Because all I'm really doing here is buying Jenna time to get free and kill her captives, and then come rescue me.
Yeah, I don't think Garrett understands, or Skylar. Sorry, this was Skylar. Skylar understands Jenna right now because JD's absolutely
She's
right.
Scary.
Jenna has been taking what's it called?
Jiu-jitsu. Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
And she has been, because she's been doing that, she's getting some muscle.
She's bulking up.
And so I think really JD's right. He's
dude,
just buying
you
time.
kidnap Jenna. I'm like, good luck, dude. Yeah, I'm just gonna play Pokemon until,
you know what? I'm just gonna
you get a phone call from her
until she walks in the door
from your
bloody.
guys' phone. Like, how did
She's
you
like,
get this number?
Quit playing games, JD. I'm free.
I'm coming for you next. I'm like, oh no, I'm only on the third gym, Jenna.
Wait, hold on.
They said I had to play the game perfect.
I'm trying my best. She's like, it's been 3 weeks. I had to murder 6 people. She's dripping with
I know.
blood.
You have no idea how hard it is to grind to the third gym without losing a single Pokemon.
My thumbs hurt.
Do you know what I've been dealing with? So Peterson, what is your choice?
So
this like Sophie's choice of video games.
My first thought was like, I don't know, funny but morbid at the same time. I was like, well, if they're gonna treat my family okay, I'm gonna pick a really long, easy game so I can get like a nice break, so I can just relax for a minute.
That's how bad I need a break. I'm like, you're gonna kidnap my family? Are you feeding them? Are they well taken care of?
And then you're gonna let me play video games?
Yes!
This is. Am I on vacation?
Oh, God.
What just happened?
I need a vacation, man. I think we need to take some time off of fucking work.
Yeah. Wait.
This sounds awesome. This sounds like the best scenario,
dude,
ever. Kidnap away.
Yeah, so I would probably pick. So realistically, I'd pick probably option 2, because I don't know. I'm not that great at any game. I don't replay a lot of games. But yeah, so I don't know. I'd probably pick option 2 and just roll the dice. You know what I mean?
What are
game?
They gonna...
no.
Sorry. Option 2 is roll the dice.
Yeah, they pick a game for me because I'm pretty good at games. I'm not amazing. I'm pretty good at games, and so I'm confident I could beat a game. Just don't make it a
better at
Souls-like.
games than they are. They've been busy kidnapping.
Yeah,
all I do is fucking play video games.
Yeah, like nerds don't kidnap people. So
yes, so maybe their vision of view of they're like, oh, I now play Fortnite. I'm like, oh,
and you're like,
yeah, but what if they make you like win a chicken dinner in Fortnite?
How many chances do I get?
I don't fucking know.
If I get one chance, it's not going to happen. If I get like 10 chances, it'll happen.
No way.
Yeah, I'll get a lot of. It's not called a chicken dinner, by the way. That's PUBG. So, wow. If they said get a chicken dinner in Fortnite, I'd be like, okay.
All right.
Let me tell you how wrong you are.
Or no, you have a gun to my head, but I have to call you an idiot right now. I'm so sorry. You're an idiot.
Wow.
All right. Our next one comes from Strasdas, and they ask, you can build the perfect video game for somebody else that has been on the podcast. Who do you pick, and what game do you create?
This one was kind of hard for me, but when I came to it, I was like, you know what? I really like this.
Same.
I picked Lynn.
Tight. And
here's why. I feel like Lynn has a very specific, like, she loves what game did she love? It was Stardew, right?
Yeah, Stardew Valley.
She loves Stardew, and so I want essentially a Stardew type of game. I want to include more cats, because I know Lynn appreciates cats.
Cat Dew Valley. Just
Dude,
cats
yeah,
planning
like,
catnip.
Yeah, you're not making relationships with people. There's like cats all around the town, and you're like trying to essentially get the cats to like you.
Right.
But also here is something and I want you to take this the right way, because I think Lynn would just get a kick out of it and really appreciate it. I want the whole thing to have a Korean vibe.
Oh.
So Lynn is Korean American, and she's been kind of diving into that lately. She's making kimchi.
She's got a
and selling
kimchi
that.
business. If you guys are in Salt Lake City, Utah, hit us up on Discord.
Yeah,
We'll hook you up with Lynn's kimchi, homemade kimchi recipe.
she's got a couple sauces,
And she will
and
deliver
stuff
it to your
too.
house.
So yeah, really awesome. But like, can you imagine how just over the moon she would be?
Korean cat Stardew
and there was
Valley.
like some
Yes.
K-pop playing on it. Like,
yes.
she would just be so happy. And all I really want is Lynn to be happy. So, dude, like, I don't know. Like, I just thought of this and I was like, she would just absolutely get a kick out of all of that. So that's
It's like
what I want.
you're basically making a custom Lynn skin for Stardew Valley.
Yep.
I like that. I like that proposition.
Okay, go ahead and do yours.
Well, we can wait. I'll wait.
No, go ahead. You're good.
So mine would be for. I thought about this a lot because I thought about like you. I was like, who could it be for? Who could I do this with? Because I was like, it's too easy to just do it with Peterson or Trent. And then I was thinking, Jackson would be a perfect person to build a game for. One thing about Jackson that you guys might not know is that he can only play games for a certain amount of time, especially games with like a lot of stuff moving, because he'll get a headache or he'll kind of get just like motion sickness. So like a game like, I think he could play a game like Civ forever, or even a game like League of Legends or Diablo where it's, a standard map. Nothing, it's just like the characters moving on a flat surface. But like a first person shooter or those types of third person action games, just so much on the screen moving at a time, he just needs a break. So it would be kind of good. It would be kind of fun to build one for Jackson. So for Jackson, there's a couple elements that this game needs to have that I've noticed that he likes about games. It should have at least 4-player co-op. More would be better. There needs to be explosions and shooting. There need to be funny sayings like butt finger and hurry up, baby.
Oh, yeah. Buttfinger. What is that from?
It's from Double Dragon Neon, which
That's
is the
right.
most hilarious meta commentary and
The
comedy
dialogue
throughout
in
the
it
whole
just
game.
had us rolling.
So funny. And then but like I mentioned, it should have regular breaks from the action, so Jackson's brain and stomach can have a break. So this is the game I've designed for him. We're looking at like a D&D kind of action hack and slash style game. So if Jackson wants to go in and just be, so everyone can play different roles. So if you want to be the mage in the back casting spells, or if you want to be the healer or the rogue, whatever you want to do. But the beauty here is you go and you do these dungeons or whatever, and then there's long breaks for decision trees, storytelling, like when you're talking to, a quest giver and everyone in the parties kind of talking about how we should discuss it. So it would have like really long breaks in between the action.
A little bit inventory management, just to
management. Yeah. Just really chill. And you're moving as a party. So it's not like you'd need to, one person can just move you around and then you have the little action battle. And that's where the co-op fun thing is. But I think just kind of sitting there and chilling, and then having a cool action scene and then shitting and like talking about where the story should go and what our characters should do. I think that would be the perfect game for Jackson.
Yep. No, that seems there's got to be something like that out there.
Kind of made me think of Wildermyth. If Wildermyth was had more action in the instead of it being a turn-based, if it was like
that would be kind of
co-op
fun.
action battle, and then that action battle could have you lose a character there.
Yeah.
and then you've lost that character for the game.
You know, that would be fun, like a Wildermyth, but like an action Wildermyth instead of a
Yeah.
turn. Like the turn base is fun, but that would be kind of cool to
Yeah.
like play through and you're like, ah, crap, I messed up. Like I went too ham and now my
It's
character's
come, my guy's
dead, or I
died.
lost an arm
I
or
have
whatever.
no barbarians left.
Yeah.
So well, that's another thing that I was thinking is, are there a lot of games that function that way, that have big breaks in the action for like long, and I think this sounds like a JRPG convention that
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
describing. So maybe Jackson just needs to play more JRPGs where they're just like, we're going to talk forever. But I thought the aspect of like actually contributing to the storytelling might be really fun.
Mhm.
Our next listener question comes from Scott again, who asked, with size becoming an issue and all games downloading a portion of one, is it possible in this digital age? What do you guys think if we had the full engines on our systems and games just accessed what they needed? So what I can understand from Scott again's question here is that if we could have game engines actually loaded onto our PCs, so that games could just draw from them directly instead of having to load the engine and then the game on top of it, if I understand correctly. And I think Peterson and I both agreed that the answer here is that we don't understand enough about.
We don't know how games work.
What I just
Like-
said may just completely be gibberish. It is my best understanding of what your question
So
asks.
are you like saying like we would have it like Unreal 5 on the machine and
on
it would
your
just
machine.
like pull stuff from that?
And you just play it on top of that build? I guess, I mean, anything to make it easier for my computer, and my computer not to be 90 degrees centigrade when I
Dude.
play Valheim.
Dude, Valheim.
it.
I turn it
Whatever
on
it is.
and it immediately starts like I'm like, oh, it's
I turn the
warm
heat off in
here
my
now.
house because now I have a fucking fireplace next to my face. It's melting the right half of my screen. It's just blasting hot air. Just
Dude.
oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, I think JD and I are of one mind on this, that we don't
One
understand
small mind.
games, how they actually run. I still think it's magic a little bit. And so yeah, I don't know if you're talking about a different kind of magic to run on my
Yeah,
computer.
you're telling me you take a bunch of sand and you press it into like a big square, and then you put little bumps on it and run electricity through that, and now I can play Valheim?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get that.
I don't
know.
understand. I'm not a wizard.
Why are they?
Yeah.
Why are the motherboards green? I don't know.
Asking the important questions.
I don't know any. That's what I'm saying. I don't know the basics. Next question comes from Silverthorn, who asked, inspired by the new Fortnite season, if you could remove a key feature of a game but keep it fun and playable, what would that game and feature be? I loved this question.
Yeah, because they're referring to the removal of the building mechanic in the Battle Royale version of Fortnite.
Mhm.
So that is what we're referring to. So yeah, I this is a great question. When they
Yeah, I
sent
thought
it
that
to
was-
me, I was like, I love it. I love this question so much. We'll definitely do it on the show. So
Was it hard for you to answer, though?
yes, because I felt like I came up with the most low-hanging fruit answer out there right now.
Okay. Now I got to hear it. What's the low-hanging fruit?
Give me a stupid difficulty option in Souls-like games.
Souls-like
In Elden Ring, just give me a difficulty
funny.
options. Like, I know this isn't new. People have talked about it, and then I'm gonna trigger some people here, but like the fans of these games are like, well, if you want a difficulty setting, then you're missing the whole point of the game. And you're like, I want.
Don't tell me the point of the game. Let me play the game and tell you the
I
point.
just want to
I thought
have
it was.
fun. I
Yeah.
didn't realize the point was to suffer. I want to have fun, and like let me do that in my own way. Why? It's a single player game. Why do you care?
Mhm.
But yeah, so that's the like lowest hanging fruit that I could think of. The other one was because we've been playing another quick round of Valheim.
Say it.
I was like, just get rid of the stamina. This
Oh.
is the thing that
So you
I
just fly up
hate
mountains.
the most. Yeah, because like at some point in Valheim, you are like you've spent all this time creating weapons and armor and doing all this stuff, but I will still die to a pack of 3 wolves because I've run out of stamina. I can't block, I can't hit, I can
Every
do
death
nothing.
I've ever had has been stamina.
Yeah, because I
related.
can do nothing. And I'm like, just let me run and let me swing, and I don't know,
You just want unlimited mana in your games.
I
It would
want
make
to
them
be a
so
Skyrim
broken.
character. So I can just swing away, mash that button, and just start slaughtering stuff.
I feel like Skyrim has stamina too.
It's
I don't
not
think you can do
nearly
that
as
forever.
punishing. It's not
No.
nearly as punishing.
No, probably not.
Like, if you're in a fight in Valheim that's longer than 10 seconds, you're out of stamina. You're going to run out of stamina. You can't get away. Anyways, that's I hate stamina. I hate mana.
I love that. I have one for Valheim too. This is okay. So this is, I feel like the spirit of Silverthorn's question is removing a key feature of a game, but keep it fun and playable. I think if you removed all the enemies in Valheim, it would be a fascinating game.
That would be so boring.
I know. It would it would just be all based on exploration.
This is
mining
Minecraft creative mode.
Yeah, is that what it? And there is a version of Valheim that is, I think, just creative mode. It's like
you
this.
Just go in and build, and
but I think there's like all sorts of things. But I think the idea of leaving it like the classic game, I don't know. I guess you wouldn't have many motives to upgrade armor or items, so that wouldn't be fun.
It would just be building. Like that's that's why you do that, because you want to build something epic without a pack of trolls coming and smashing it to the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I guess I'm saying this because I have been playing that no boss run lately, and so it's been essentially that. Like I don't have really enemies. They don't raid my base. They're not spawning that, because I haven't beaten the very first boss. So like a lot of the spawns that kick off haven't kicked off. But there are definitely still enemies, and I'm still hitting things with swords and stuff. So
the other thing that I thought of for this, it's just removing a limitation. I know in Fortnite it was like changing the game completely, but I hate limitations sometimes in games. I don't want to be God mode all the time, right? But I hate when you're playing a game that has ammo and you never have enough ammo. Right? If I'm playing BioShock, that was a big complaint of mine. I just let me have so much ammo that I'm at 2 hours into the game, I'm never worrying about ammo again, because there's just ammo everywhere. I don't want to worry about ammo. I just want to shoot stuff when I can shoot stuff. And if that means adding in a few more guys or something, so you have to be less thoughtful about how you approach situations, because sometimes I just don't want to be thoughtful about how I don't like stealth in games. In Last of Us, that was a complaint of mine. Like, sometimes I just wanted to shoot everything and shoot everybody. But they were like, no, you got to sneak and then stealth kill this guy. And sometimes I don't want to do that. Sometimes I just want to get in a gunfight and just shoot everybody and not worry about switching guns mid-fight because I'm out of ammo in 3 of them, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't like limitations like that. And I get why they're in games.
You just want to hold the trigger down forever.
I want to, if it's a shooting game, I want to shoot.
I love that.
Remove stealth.
Just get rid of everything that's in a Splinter Cell game. Okay, so our last question is voicemail, the voicemail that we got from Jacob Stewart. So we'll play that right now.
Choo-choo-choo-choo-boo, guys. What's up? It's Jake, your boy from Discord. Hey, I have a question for you. So recently, I took some time off to play Elden Ring Day 1. I don't often get a lot of time to play these days uninterrupted, so it was amazing. When's the last time you guys played something Day 1, took time off to play it? Also, do you have any fun things that you do that go along with that, like any fun traditions or anything like that? All right. See you later. Bye.
So,
okay, by the way, I love that he starts with choo-choo-choo-choo-boo, guys.
Incredible.
The Jackson...
the best greeting there is.
I loved it so much. So Jacob, well done, because that one killed me.
Nailed it. Straight on.
And I love how he just nonchalant about it. Choo 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 boo, guys. Hey, like he
Gonna
just
be
goes
my
into.
No, that's aloha for people.
That's
that
how we
listen to this
greet each
podcast.
other.
Boo means hello and goodbye, and also good day. So I can't honestly remember the last time I did this, other than Fallout 4.
That's what I was going to say. I know you did it for Fallout 4.
Because I always take off the last couple weeks of the year, generally, and it used to be to play video games, but now I've got like holiday stuff, and I'm always doing shit all week long.
You got to take care of dogs.
Got dogs to take care of. Yeah, because Fallout 4 was like London, man. That was the good old days.
Dude, wasn't that pre-Jenna?
No, I think she was around. Maybe.
I don't think so.
Maybe she wasn't.
I think that was.
Oh yeah,
Limbo
it was
D.
pre-Jenna.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that was a problem.
I remember you streaming your playthroughs of that in your underwear,
well, yeah,
essentially
but
for Jeff.
Yeah, it was for Jeff. But I remember doing that in this house, which I only had with Jenna. So I don't know. That may have been the second playthrough. Long story short, no, I haven't done this for longer than I should have. Although I might do it the next Valheim update just so I can keep up with those dudes.
They go hard.
I might have to literally take days off of work just to keep up with the amount of time they put into Valheim.
Yeah, the people who play on the server with us, they go hard.
They go hard. It's hard to keep up. But yeah, I have not done that. But that was my ritual, was taking the last couple. So I'd take the week between Christmas and New Year's off. And then obviously there's a couple days before Christmas you usually get. And then that would just be it, was just playing Fallout. Oh, you know what it was, Peterson? You know what Fallout? Jenna was home for the holidays.
Is that what it was?
So she wasn't even there. Yeah, so that's
a good thing, because I don't know if you guys would have made it this far if she would have seen what we had.
She would have seen what I did in Fallout 4. No, probably not. That just makes me sad. This question makes me fucking sad.
Okay,
I need to do this. I
haven't
been that excited. Harry Potter. That's it. I'm doing it with Harry Potter. I'm gonna burn 1,000,000 candles. I'm gonna get a bunch of butter beer. I'm gonna get a hat and a cloak. And an owl and a frog?
Where are you gonna get an owl?
I've got time.
I can rent an owl, okay? The zoo is not that far.
In the next year to come sit in my house while I play this game. I will be taking off time off of work to play Hogwarts Legacy. There. I stamped it. Okay. Brought it full circle, Jacob.
All right, so my answer to this is that it also made me very sad and jealous, because I have never done this. And it's mostly because, so when I really started getting into gaming, I was already married and in college, and I never really was at a point, even now, like I could take a day off, but then I'd be home, and then like the kids are going to come home. It's not the same. I'd say the last time that I did anything close to this, and it wasn't even a brand new, like day one type of game, but I wanted to play Jade Empire on the Xbox. And I was newly married. Kelsey was, she was on the volleyball team at Utah State. And so it was during their season. So she was traveling, and I ditched classes and called in sick. Just to power through. And I remember I played this game for like 16 hours straight because I was home alone. And I remember this because our house had no air conditioning and I was so hot. I remember just being so hot and finally getting to the point in the day where I could put a fan in the window and cooling down, and then nighttime coming. And I was like, okay, now I can really play. And it was like 18 hours or something. So I've never done it on a day one release because I'm often the one who's most hesitant to buy games day one. I always wait because I hate it. I hate buying a full price game and then being disappointed in it.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been burned, so I just don't do it anymore. So Yeah, I don't, Jacob. I'm so sorry, man. I've never done it. I don't have any rituals. I've just maybe I'm lame. I don't know, but I've never done it, and it does make me sad because it sounds. I mean, as you can tell from our answer to Skylar's question, that's the dream, right? I just want to sit down uninterrupted and game for a long time.
I just realized that I have a couple of these because you just asked the most recent one, but the other one I used to do all the time with Jeff, we called it Gears Day. Every time a new Gears of War game came out, we would just sit down and just try to beat it all in a sitting.
Oh my
One of our houses, we just get the new game the first day. We'd start early in the morning. We'd go grab lunch, like fast food, halfway through, but like we would play, and I think 2 times we beat Gears of War 2 and Gears of War, I think, Judgment Day this way. And we were up to like 3 or 4. But it was awesome. Just sitting in co-op, beating a game for the very first time and playing through all the new stuff. And Gears of War was always so well built for co-op. The campaign, at least, that was so much fun. I remember Gears Day. That was a blast. Just like so much junk food and just playing. And the fact that it was co-op.
Yeah.
It doesn't get much better than that. Oh,
well, I did that one time with Halo 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Halo 2, but it had already been out for a little while, and we're like, hey, let's just do a full playthrough tonight.
Yeah.
And we just ordered pizza and beat the whole game in one night,
That counts. Man, that counts.
But it was like we just did it to do it,
If you beat a whole game in a sitting with a bunch of friends, that counts. You've had this experience. That's cool. All right. Let's move on to dice.
Dice of Destiny.
All right, Dice of Destiny is this fun little game we play at the end of every episode. We roll a 6-sided dice to see who will be responsible for rolling the Dice of Destiny, a 20-sided dice with 20 different game genres assigned to it. After that person rolls their game genre, then they roll another 6-sided dice to see how much money they can spend on the game. And then they pick it, play it, review it. A million years ago, Peterson rolled an anime game for like $30. He picked Nier Automata, and he played it. Peterson, what did you think about this game?
I think it's Nier Automata.
Nier a tomato.
Nier Automata. Okay, so I played Nier Automata.
One of those has to be right.
And okay, this game was highly reviewed, meaning had great, crazy good reviews. It's been out for a few years. Highly recommended, and I can see why. But just to prep everyone, my review is not all positive and rosy as you might hope. So
it's not all thong ladder upskirts.
which happened. I look, you play an android and she wears a thong.
About why that android is wearing any underwear at all, let alone a thong.
Yeah, why did this dude, it was weird. Anyway, so I'll start at the beginning. Nier Automata is I can't even tell you like what type of game it is. Meaning the angle, because the angle when you're in game, in combat, changes fairly regularly, which was interesting. But I will say this game is impossible to play on a mouse and keyboard. And I'm not just saying like it is no, it's actually impossible.
Not Peterson impossible, just actual impossible.
Yeah. Like one of my special moves. So you're on WASD, right? And your special attack is backslash. And you're like, oh, that's not on the same side of the keyboard.
So you're playing what?
Dude, it was crazy.
Did you give up and start playing with the controller?
So the second it said that, like when I earned my special attack, I was like, nope, this is a controller game. And it is. And honestly, the controls with a controller are fantastic.
Because this wasn't a
PlayStation
game.
Yeah, it was a PlayStation game.
That's what I thought.
And so on controller, I mean, honestly, the combat controls felt very fluid, seamless. The combat itself felt very fluid. It was very responsive. You clicked dodge, your character would dodge right away. So that was the combat was really wonderful. So you start off, and you're like a ship combat, like you're in a spaceship, and you're doing like the side-scrolling view, and then it will move to a top-down view, and then you're like shooting things all around you, and then it'll move to like a top-down view where you're just in the bottom of the screen, like centipede style, and the things are coming from the top, right, instead of like.
Yeah.
So the view changed. There was probably 4 or 5 different views in the combat, which was good because it changed things up, but it was also bad because it was like a little bit confusing at first. And then very early on, I discovered my biggest gripe about the game was that when you die, you go back to whatever save point you found, and at the beginning, that save point is the very start, and I had to watch the cutscene, the whole thing,
cutscene.
unskippable
What
cutscene.
is it with anime games that think their cutscenes are just they just must be seen over
gotta
and
see
over?
this.
They are absolutely vital to the gameplay itself.
It's crazy. I was like, I got it. I got the story, so I had to do that a couple times.
Thanks.
Mostly because I was really kind of discovering the combat in the beginning. Like, how do I do these things? If I chain these together, how does that work? How does that look like? Can I shoot and swing at the same time? Because once you land and you're the android, you have like a floating robot box that flies above you, and it shoots. So you have swords, and you do melee combat, but this thing also shoots. And the controls are good enough to where you can do them both at the same time pretty easily. And it works well. The combat is forgiving. It's very forgiving in that there's like a auto target button for the closest enemy for the shooting. So you can just click the right trigger and it will auto target to the closest thing.
Like that.
And it will just stay on it. So it makes it a little easier. You can take that off if you need it off, but you're an android. You meet up with another android, a male android, and you are androids from the moon because humans have abandoned Earth because aliens attacked Earth and they won, and they left a bunch of robots there.
Right.
And the robots beat the humans. So
what about the aliens? Weren't there robots, aliens, and humans?
So the robots were from the aliens.
Oh, they're alien robots.
Yes.
Should have known.
So then the aliens left, but Earth is now populated by kind of old clunky robots.
Right.
Humans are on the moon, so we build this specialized android force to go down and fight, and that's what you are. You are controlling an android who is going down to Earth.
Human robots versus alien robots for the soul of the planet.
You got it. And you are much more advanced than the alien robots. The androids are way more advanced. They have thongs, so
they're thong level technology.
Yeah. So
forget the industrial age.
Dude, we went straight to the thong age.
Thong
Cisco
age.
made an appearance. It was, I don't know. It felt weird, but now it makes sense.
You don't know it now, but history books will mark that Cisco song as a seminal moment in history.
The year 2000.
The thong age begins.
The beginning of the thong.
Fucking hate it.
So
it's kind of accurate. The 2000s were awful. They were the thong era.
It just started it. It just started this.
So dumb.
Okay, so you play. That's the story, and then you kind of, as you go, you get more weapons you can upgrade, and upgrades for your thing. If I'm being 100% honest, I never fully understood the upgrading. You use like these chips to upgrade you and your abilities and stuff. Never fully understood it. I don't like it when games make the inventory system like a little confusing. Like they've made it their own. Like, oh, you've got your HUD, and your HUD is your, and then you've got your little box, and you've got microchips. You're like, dude, just I don't know. So that was. I didn't want to learn a bunch of new things to play this game because when it came down to it, the game itself for me was not fun enough for me to be like really, really into it.
Yeah.
It was very anime in that the music had that like A lot of people online were praising the music of it, and the music I thought was weird. Now, the sound design was great because it kind of crescendoed with your fighting, and like
That's fun.
it did, like in boss fights and stuff. It was very well choreographed that way, but it was weird. It was like a lot of like weird vocalizations happening, and so the music I did not find appealing. The combat was great. It was very seamless, but it started to feel less and less fun. And that
Okay.
can happen in games, these combat games. Like, it starts to get less exciting the more you play. And you learn new things, you get new weapons, but it never felt different enough to be like super excited about it. And the story was, it was interesting, but a lot of weird stuff happened.
Mhm.
Like I was telling JD, I was like, okay, I just came into a clearing and there are a bunch of like garbage can looking robots simulating sex because they're trying to make more robots.
More garbage cans.
Dude, and it was bizarre.
For the humans.
Yes, and then a naked Ken doll android appeared and fought me. And by
He's like,
Ken doll,
I'm the best baby they've made so far.
yeah,
Bring
and
it on.
he
I'm
was
the trash
pretty tough.
baby.
So the game was interesting. The combat was fluid, seamless. The controls were fantastic. The sound design was well done, but it wasn't my cup of tea across the board. And that's kind of the thing. It
Mhm.
just didn't feel. I wasn't ever sucked into this game. I knew things would happen. I'd be like, oh, cool. And then I'd kind of get used to it and be like, meh, like whatever, not that interesting. Oh, the other positive that I have, which is a big deal for me, and I've talked about this before, is they absolutely rewards exploration. Because there's a lot of exploring you can do, little nooks and crannies, tops of buildings, like, hard to get to spots. There's
Mhm.
always something there for you to collect. There's a chest, there's a weapon, something. There's something there. They reward exploration, which is a big deal for me. So I absolutely appreciated that about the game. Do I love Nier? No. Do I hate it? Absolutely not. I can see why people were obsessed with it, why it was such a fantastic game. I did not finish my first playthrough. I know that was kind of a big deal. You got to get through all the endings and see all the stuff. Will
But,
I
like, if
ever finish it? I don't know, but I
Yeah.
will play more because it was interesting and I do want to see kind of what's next, but I'm not like eager to play more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm not like excited about it. If I had to, Nier for me, this is an easy one because it's a little bit of an older game. So
Def wait.
buy on sale. Buy
Yeah.
on sale. It'll go on sale. I bought it on sale. Because it was 60 and it was 50% off.
Oh,
I bought it for
shit.
$25.
Yeah, don't buy this for 60.
No.
It's old.
So wait for a sale. It'll go on big sale because it's, like I said, a little bit older. If I had to compare this to a food, it's a mango. And here's why. If you've ever eaten a mango, like actually cut it yourself and just
Mhm.
started eating it, I don't know if it's like this for you, but for me, the flavor changes throughout the mango. It is, some points of it are very sweet, some points sweet and like almost like peachy.
Mhm.
Some points of it are very sour,
Tart.
and some points of it are very nutty. Like it has a very nutty pine type
You get
of
into
flavor.
the middle of it, yeah.
Yeah, like right towards the seed, right? And so, or the pit or whatever you call it. So mango kind of
Stone.
has multiple flavors in it. And that's how I felt about this game. There was some really good things about it that I absolutely loved. There was a little things that were soured on me a little bit. And then it was a little nutty, man.
Sounds
Just
kind of more than a
robots
little
having
nutty.
sex. But there's very, like I said, very anime. Like the things that I thought were weird.
Yeah.
If you were really into anime, you probably wouldn't think it was that bizarre or off-putting. But it's not like I said, not my cup of tea. So,
Which is for me the perfect saying. As a non-tea drinker, I'm like, yeah, that's great for me. Yeah, it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Tons of people like tea. There must be something to it.
Yep. And I do like tea. This just was like a weird black tea for me, which I am not into.
Why are people drinking that?
I don't understand. Anyway, so Nier, yeah,
It is a
play it if you like that.
mango that you should wait to buy on sale. Wait till it's a little riper. Okay, that means we got to re-roll. Peterson, do you want to do a 4-sided dice?
Yeah, let's do a four
One-
ski.
I will be 1-2. Peterson will be 3-4.
Okay.
It's 3.
All right, I'm up. I'm up, baby.
Up at bat. All right, and the 20-sided dice.
For the genre.
Oh, a 20 is a
Ooh.
building game? Holy shit. We just had that.
That's pretty funny.
That's pretty
I
crazy.
have actually. That's not a bad genre. There's been a couple building games that I have had my eye on.
So that means that building is off and co-op is on the board.
Ooh,
Okay,
co-op
and then
is
for
back.
a 6-sided dice is a 2, which means you can buy a building game
Okay.
with a 2. What was the one that I got
20 or
recently?
less.
Oh, it was Raft. So yeah, it was really fresh.
That
That's
was
crazy.
well. You didn't get Raft for building. You got Raft for was it building? No, survival.
Oh,
Which
it was
often
survival,
these
so
two
it
go
wasn't
hand in
building.
hand.
That's what it was, because I'm like, all of these survival games are building games now.
Yeah. This often
So
survival
we didn't
games
just
are
do
also.
building. Okay, cool. They're just very similar. Got it.
Mhm,
John.
mhm.
Wait, look, what is happening here?
I don't know.
There's buildings on here twice. I'm removing building. I think we did. Building was on here twice.
Oh, dude, we
Something
really
got
like
screwed
building.
up. I'm gonna have to go through and double check that these have not been screwed up over the years. We've been using the same Google Sheet for 6 years on this Dice of Destiny.
Dude, that's
here.
so crazy.
It's a little. There's a few I don't think we've ever hit, like Story Rich at 18.
Well, I mean, that's the dice. The dice don't want us
Dice
to play
don't
that.
want us to play Story Rich games. They want us to play. They want Peterson to play horror games.
Dude, right
over
now,
and
I will
over
say,
and over
right
again.
now, I am playing with my son Phasmophobia and really enjoying it.
Oh, nice.
So I'll review that. I'll review that at some point. But yeah, maybe horror's my thing now. I just leaned into it.
Okay. All right, folks. Well, that does it for us this week. Thanks for all of your listener questions. That was super nice to not have to plan an episode because you did it for us. You
Thank you.
suckers.
We roped you in. You didn't even know.
Got you good. All
Gotcha.
right. To play us out, we've got some music from Elden Ring, just for Peterson. The Sanderson tunes. All right. I'm JD, logging off.
This is Peterson going AFK.
Peterson Productions. Oh, yeah. Welcome to another episode of the Gotcha Games Podcast. This episode happens to be a double ultra rare. So, your chances of listening, if you're one of our patrons, is 1 in 2047. So, if you're one of those, thanks for listening in, and I hope you enjoy it.